Welcome back to Crystal Wellness Studios. Today is January 1st, and what better way to start a new year than with cleaning a bunch of barrels. So today we're going to start with our Peach Aventurine, which is in polish stage. So let's just set this aside. Let's see if we can find us a piece of Peach Aventurine. Here we go. Let's wash it off. A little bit of water here. We'll dry it. Let's see how it looks. Oh my goodness. I think we have a winner. Look at the polish on that. This Aventurine is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, so happy. Okay, let's see if we can get another one here. A lot of foam in this barrel. Oh, look at that. That is completely dry. Look at that polish. That is the result we were looking for. Oh, what a better way to start a new year than with a good polish run. Oh, that's so nice. Fantastic. All right, what we're going to do here is get the rest of our Peach Aventurine rinsed off, and then we're going to put it in a burnish cycle to get the remaining polish slurry off of it, any residue, and then we'll get pictures and we'll get them up. And let's move on to the next barrel, which we have is Tiger's Eye. Oh my gosh, this Peach Aventurine is so pretty. Just lovely. Okay, be right back. And we're back with our Tiger Eye, which is in polish. Look at how foamy that is. My goodness. My goodness. Let's just set that aside. Now let's see if we can get us a piece of Tiger's Eye. Oof. Rinse it off here. Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at that. That is so beautiful. Still has polish on it, but wow. Very happy. Okay, let's get another piece. Oh, it's still covered. Still covered in slurry. Polish residue. Oh, I'm trying to get a bigger piece out here. Okay, we had both golden and blue in this batch. This is another piece of golden. These have been running since December 23rd. So 9 days? 8 days in polish. Very pretty. Look at that. Lots of polish still on it. You know, I think this could actually probably run a few more days. Let's get out another piece. Look here. Ooh, lots of foam. This is a blue one. Ugh, can't get all that slurry off. Even the top looks beautiful. There's the bottom of it. Nice shine. Oh, look at that. Not the best example of blue. Wow. Very nice. Let's see what else we can find in this. Trying to find a big piece of blue. It's probably at the very bottom. Is that blue? It might be blue. It's the top. Here's the sides. But it's just, again, lots of slurry still on it. Lots of polish residue. But I think they're done. I don't really think they're going to need more time. Oops. They just need to get washed off really, really well. And then they need to run through a burnish cycle. And then I think we're going to have results that we actually want. Be really happy with them. Okay, at the end of the video today, we'll pop these Peach Aventurine and Tiger's Eye back on so you can see what they look like after burnish cycles. Oh my gosh, just lovely. Alrighty, I think we had successes with our barrels that were in polish this week. Both have been running since December 23rd, so a good 8 days for both the Peach Aventurine and the Tiger's Eye. And now we are going to move on to our barrels that are in 1000 pre-polish grit. All right, we'll be right back. And we're back with our calcite that has been running in a repair barrel, one of our little 3-pound barrels, for 9 days, 8 days, 8 days, for 8 days. And it was in 1000 grit, probably longer than we needed, but it still has a lot of that damage on it, but it still looks better. This batch might be beyond repair. It has a lot of that scratching on it. When it was wet, it looked a lot better. But this is dry now because we wanted to see the actual damage done. And as you can see, all the, oh, there's a little wet. Looks good wet. There. I was hoping, I was pretty excited when I was cleaning it off because I saw it and it looked like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, it worked, it worked. And now that it's dry, and not so much. Not so much. I think this batch is just beyond repair. The surfaces, I mean, it feels smooth, but it's just these micro fine, you can't feel them with your finger, you can just see them with your eye. All this orange calcite. I am going to run it through a dry polish now. I mean, we've been running it through different repairs. We took it all the way back to medium, which is the 120-220. Medium grit, and then we moved it up, and we skipped the 500 because we were just damaging the stone too much. I mean, it was just shrinking so much, and yeah, so we went right to 1,000, and then we let it run for 8 days. The green is just down to pebbles, as you can see here. Same damage, and you can see how much stone versus how much ceramic media. So we had it cushioned really, you know, really well. And then one of the blues broke off, because here's a chip. Not sure, I think it came from this one right here. Yeah. And so this chipped off in our barrel and continued to round, but we're going to take that out and Zen guard it right away. This one's going to go in the chips. This green one broke. So, and I mean, it broke as we were rinsing it off. So thank goodness it didn't cause more damage in the barrel. I mean, as you can see, that's still really sharp. See, that's still really sharp because that just happened. So that'll go in our chips as well. Lots of our ceramic media. I'm not seeing broken ceramic media, so there's no damage from that. You know, they're just obviously wearing down, but they're still good and rounded. There's no sharp edges with that. So we ended up with these 4 teeny tiny little pieces. After all the struggle, we ended up with 4 little pieces of blue, and it still needs to go through the dry polish. And I'm kind of wondering if we need to bother, other than we need to finish this experiment out. So there's the blues. And the greens again. There's one for the chip pile. Oh, I was so excited when I first rinsed it off. I thought we were really making progress and that we had found the way to repair it, but we didn't. So we're just going to have to live with these. I think they're all, so far, all the blue and all the green are going to the Zen garden. Nothing is going to tumbled stone. The orange, however, has retained a lot of its mass, and I think once it's polished, we'll be able to, you know, use them for various purposes. So, but as you see, there's a lot going on with it. And I just don't think that continuing, I mean, it's like so silky smooth to the touch. You know, this is just a fracture line that's internal. But these little marks here that we were trying to get removed and trying to smooth the surface, I don't know, just isn't going to happen. So we're just gonna run it through our dry polish and see what happens. We'll take a look at it next week. I was so excited. Thought it was getting better. I don't know if you can see these. We were really hoping for a better result. Alright. Well, again, not all experiments are successful. I do have a whole lot more calcite that I would like to run, but I want to perfect the recipe before, you know, we do that. Okay, we are going to go to our Snowflake Obsidian next and see how that repair barrel worked. Be right back. And we're back with our Snowflake Obsidian repair barrel. It's been running in 1000 superfine pre-polish for a week. And again, like the calcite, we were not happy with the finished product and we had taken it back to a 120, 220. But unlike the calcite, we did put this in a 500 before we put it in the 1000. And as you can see, this is a dry piece here. A lot of the crazing that had been on it before is now gone. Let's see, how is that? I'm getting a good angle on that. A lot of the crazing appears to be gone. So you can see how nice and sharp that black is. Nice vibrant black, where before it was all crazed and did not look very good. So I think we've done the job. So this is going to go through a wash cycle, and then I'm going to put it in dry polish. This is actually, we were actually able to repair this, and it's actually looking pretty good. Pretty darn happy about that. So in case you're new to the videos and you haven't seen this before, our Snowflake Obsidian, we ran like normal we started with the 60-90 heavy grit, coarse grit, and then we went to the 120-220 medium silicone oxide grit, the 500 pre-polish, which is aluminum oxide, the 1000 aluminum oxide, and then we put it in a wet polish, and the wet polish is what damaged the stones. They looked terrible. They were really crazed. I should have kept a piece as a reference. It just, the whole surface on the stone was so marred that the black in here looked gray. I mean, it was really pretty awful. So we decided to take it back. Instead of just pitching the batch and saying it just didn't work, we wanted to repair it and see if how that process would work. And what we did is we took it back to the medium 120-220. We ran it for a few days in that. I think we ran it for a whole week, and then we ran it a whole week in 500, a whole week in 1000. And now we are ready to hit polish, but we have to put it in a wash cycle first to make sure we have all the residue from the 1000 superfine polish, pre-polish off of it. And then when it's going to go through 2 or 3 wash cycles until the water runs clear, and at that point we're going to dry the stones really well. Let them sit out and dry for, I don't know, an hour. Make sure they're good and dry. And then we're going to put them in a dry corn cob polish for a few days, and we'll see what kind of a shine we can get on it. And tune in next week to see how that dry polish turned out. Okay, we're going to look at our next barrel that is in 1000 pre-polish. It is not a repair barrel, it's just in the normal process. So we're done with our 2 repair barrels for this week. Okay, we'll be back in a moment. And we're back with our clear quartz that has been running in our 1000 pre-polish aluminum oxide for 2 weeks. So 15 days altogether. And I think it's ready to move forward. Let's dry this off here. Very, very smooth and ready to move forward. See, with it wet, you can see see through it. It's very nice, and then you can see everything that's inside the stone, which I think is amazing. Now, dried off, it's a little murkier, a little more opaque, dry. I'm hoping when it polishes, it'll make it that nice clear, because really there's like, I don't know how much more running it in 1000 is going to do. That looks pretty clear. Till we dry it. But the stones are perfect. They're just so smooth. Of course, they're still a little damp. Look at the inclusions you can see in there. It already has a nice shine. And this hasn't even gone through polish yet. These are just amazing. This one has a nice inclusion. And I'm not sure what that silverish, greenish silver mineral is that's inside there. It's really cool. And it's pretty deep in there too. Oh, did you hear that? Oh well, got rid of, oh there it is. That, ooh, that ting. That crystal ting. Very pretty. I know you can hear the fan running in the background. Sorry about that, but it's really warm down here for just January 1st. Snow. It's like sleeting outside, but downstairs is pretty toasty. So I had to turn the fan on. This one I think is the clearest of the bunch. I mean, you can, its camera angle is hard to work with. So you can see my finger right through there. It's pretty cool. These are really, really nice. They're perfectly smooth. You know, to the touch, they're perfectly smooth. Even this, that was the matrix end. It's really nice. Whew. All right, I would say that our beautiful, lovely clear quartz is ready to move on to polish. And because this is such a hard stone, it's a MOHS Hardness 7, we're going to put it in a wet polish. And that is going to be our aluminum oxide polish. And yeah, we're going to put it back in our 3-pound barrel. So this will go to a wash cycle, run 2 or 3 of them until it runs, the water runs clear. Because it's clearing everything out of the barrel. You know, the sides of the rubber holds the grit a little bit, even no matter how much you hand clean it. It still needs those cycles. You know, the gasket lid, I mean, it looks pretty good and clean now, but it's still retaining a little bit of grit, and so it needs the wash cycles to get it really good and clear. And there's still a little bit even in the stone and in the ceramic media. Everything needs a good wash. So fantastic. I'm very happy about that. Now, a couple weeks ago, we had this lonely piece of amethyst all by its lonesome that was ready to go to polish. Nothing else in that batch made it this far. It's all in different various stages. So I'm going to put this in for the wash cycle along with the clear quartz because they're both the same MOHS hardness. And that way, it too was ready for polish. All right, we'll be right back with our golden quartz. Okay, what was also in that barrel was our MOHS Hardness 7 Golden Quartz, also called Golden Healer Quartz. Let's see. I mean, it feels really smooth. I'm not feeling any, like, you can see all this, but you can't feel it. Well, you can feel that one. Let's set that piece aside. Remember this piece? This is the one that had that little spark of rainbow. See that? That little rainbow inclusion. I love this piece. There it is again, right up here at the top. Oh. I wonder what that is. It's deep inside there that makes that rainbow. It's really cool. Well, I'm not really, I mean, this isn't the clearest stone of fractures. There's a lot of fractures in it. There's nothing you can do about all these fractures. But it is a really cool stone. Look at all the variances of the color, and you can see the depth of some of them and the different layers and the growth patterns. It's really amazing. And there's just no getting rid of all that. I mean, I don't really think... See, some of these are rough, and I don't think that leaving it in 1000 is going to help it. I think we rushed this one. I mean, they feel super smooth. I'm just not happy with the physical appearance of them. The visual appearance of them. But it is perfectly, I mean, you can't, your fingernail doesn't catch on any of this. It's perfectly smooth. I just don't like that appearance. And sometimes, you know, you get a batch like that. Like this one is much prettier. It doesn't have all that cracked fracturing. Oops. Lighting back here. So this one has all this cracked fracturing. I don't really like that. This one's so much clearer. I mean, you don't have those. You still have all the growth patterns, and you still have all that really neat stuff. But you're not having this. I don't know. I would say this one's ready to go on to polish. Alright, we have got some lighting issues here. I don't really know why. Okay, this is beautiful. I'm going to move that one forward. Definitely moving that favorite piece forward. These, see, now this one, I don't know. I just don't like it. There's nothing wrong with the stone. The stone is perfectly fine. I'm just not, like, this one's fine. I just don't like those crushed marks. It's just personal opinion. Oh, yeah, the piece of snowflake that was hiding from before. Oh, look at, we got more rainbow. Well, I just think this has to deal with what we had to start with. So like, this is a really good piece. There's very little fracturing. So smooth, I can't even hold it in my hand. This, I mean, it just looks crushed, but it's really smooth. Don't like the visual look of this. But there's nothing wrong with the stone. Alright, we are going to just move all this forward. I would just love to just slice that off. Let me take a flat lap and just smooth that out. I think I'm gonna throw that in for repairs. Same with this. I'd like to get rid of this little mark. This goes back in my snowflake barrel. Okay, we are going to run the quartz and a couple wash cycles, and then we are going to put it in a wet polish. All right, we'll be back with our barrels that are in 500 grit. We're moving right along today. All right, hang on, be right back. And we're back with our Spiritite. And we've also changed the camera angle because we didn't like the other one. Okay, we are back with Spiritite. It has been running in 500 aluminum oxide pre-polish, which is also called fine. And look at that. It's already starting to get a little, I mean, these are dry, so it's starting to get a little bit of a shine. It's feeling really smooth. Really cool piece. I love the shapes. I love, love, love the colors. It's just stunning. Just stunning. Look at these. Oof, that was a little wet on the bottom there. Wow. Just the peaches and yellows and creams and all the earth tones. It's just really peachy. Some yellows. I'm just loving this. Just absolutely love this stone. And we did find out it's a MOHS 7. Let's see. Oh, I've got some little pebbly pieces. Oh, look at that one. Am I off camera again? Wow, these are so cool. You know what? I think these are ready to move. I don't think they need another week in 500. I think they're ready to move on to 1000 super fine pre-polish. And oh, not this one. Yeah, that one's not going to make it. It's got too many little porous holes. It's really pretty. But because of those, it's not moving forward. We're going to Zen garden that. I'm going to take a super fine look at this because it's such a busy pattern. You tend to just see the pattern and not see the flaws. So I'm going to go over this really carefully off camera to save a lot of time here. And pick out those that are not just perfect to move forward to 1000. And I'm just really enjoying this. Like this is good. We're going to have to look at this. Yeah. You got these paler pieces, which is like pretty much all pinks. This is out of a mine in Mexico. Don't know what the mine is called. The vendor's not giving up that information. Ooh, it's really pretty. Yeah. It's just so nice to look at. Oh, this one's really orangey. Kind of a rust orange. It's just lovely. It's super light. It's not heavy like a Jasper. It's a really light stone, but it's super hard. A little druzy in there. Okay, we're going to look at these off camera. The Spiritite, 2 weeks in 500. How long has it been in 500? 1 week. It's only been in 500 1 week. And I think that's all it needed. Okay. These are all really beautiful. We'll be back with our Chrysoprase in just a moment. We're back with our Chrysoprase. It has been running 1 week in 500 aluminum oxide fine pre-polish. And look at what we've got here. Very pretty stone. It's really neat green. Lots of stuff going on in here. Lots of the pattern. You can see veins of things running through it. It's really cool. It's looking pretty good. It feels super smooth. There's a couple little spots I'm feeling. Not liking the way that looks. Feels really smooth. Those visual optical defects. You can see it's already starting to get a little bit of a polish. And all that pyrite in there. Really pretty stone. This is that neat alligator-y looking one, at least to me. Crocodile-y. Is that host rock? Lips around this side, and then, oh, Chrysoprase. Oh, that's neat. Bit of a different host on that. These are so slippery, they're just falling right onto my hands. Pretty happy with this. It has a different feel to it. Almost waxy. You can see a little bit of shine starting. I think it's ready to go to 1000. Pretty stunned here. 1 week is all it needed. It's also a MOHS Hardness 7. Yeah, it's going pretty good. Pretty pleased. Okay, our lovely Chrysoprase for this week. It's going to go through a couple wash cycles and then move on to 1000. Wow, we got a lot moving forward. That's fantastic. We have one more barrel of our 500 grit in 2 barrels in 6090. So yeah, we're moving right along. I think we're going to have some barrels open up this week that we can start new items. That's pretty exciting. I always love to start new things, and I love it when things go in polish. Those are my 2 favorite stages, not gonna lie. All right, we'll be right back. And we're back with our mixed barrel, all in 500, obviously. But we've got Botswana agate, and we've got a bunch of mixed Jaspers. And I gotta tell ya, I can't lie, this is a really pretty barrel. It's a really super cool. There's a lot of neat stuff in it. So let's start with this big honker of a piece of red Jasper. Really cool pattern. Not gonna lie, this one was a purchased stone that had some flaws, and being a tumbler, I knew I could fix those flaws. So I threw this in, and I could not be happier. I've just been running it along, getting all the repairs done, and it's just stinking awesome. I just love this stone. I did lose a teeny bit of mass, but not much. And I gotta tell you, I'm really super happy. Really super happy. So this piece of red Jasper has been running in 500 for 1 week, along with everything else in this barrel. And it's ready to move forward to 1,000. Oh gosh. I mean, it was a polished stone to begin with, so it's kind of like super smooth anyway, but it just feels so good. All right, this can go to 1,000. I'm very, very happy. So that's it for that red Jasper. And now we are moving on to our Serape. I only had the 1 piece, I think. Is there only 1? You know, let me do a quick check. There was more than 1 piece that managed to make it forward. Nope. So we only have the 1 piece of Botswana agate that's ready. That's been running in the 500. It's my little shoe. And it is ready to move on to 1,000 as well. I wonder where the rest of that Serape went. I think I held it back because it still needed more 60-90. Or maybe it needed more medium. It needed more medium. That's where it's sitting, waiting for a barrel for medium. Okay, but this 1 piece can go forward. And now let's break up the Jasper a little bit and let's do some Carnelian, which was, the Carnelian was bunched in with my Botswana agate. But it is not agate. It is really a Carnelian. Super cool. Super cool. It's like it's got little bubbles going up it. It's really, really neat. Super smooth. That can go forward. This other little piece, also super smooth. This little piece, super smooth. Okay, now the Botswana agate. Started out so big, but because I wanted to smooth down this host rock that had a lot of pitting, it spent like almost 3 months in 60-90 coarse grit, which we're never going to do that again. If we have host rock that has that much pitting, Santa was very good to me this year and got me a flat lap. And we're going to do an unboxing on that later and do a little how to use a flat lap video as well. And it will show you how to remove some of these super pitted, deeply pitted host rock before it goes into 60-90, so it reduces a lot of the time. And we can see a lot of the agate's been you know, started to come out and show. Oh, how cool that is. It's really neat. Super duper smooth. I think it's ready to go to 1,000. Look at all that banding that's been revealed. Wow. That's so cool. You see more biculars in here. Those little circles. Makes it kind of cool. A little bit different. Yeah. These are looking really good. Super smooth. Wow. Not happy about this right here, but there's not much we can do about that. Oh, wow. These are so pretty. Look at this peach one. Wow. That's Host. Lovely. Very pretty. Very, very, very pretty. This is that piece that just looked like chocolate. And we thought nothing would ever happen. And look it, it's being revealed. Yay! We finally got something out of the stone. It took 4 months to get there. This, I love this. I love how it just wraps right around the stone. It's really pretty, very smooth. I think all this Botswana is going to move forward today. She's little itty bitties. That might be Carnelian as well. Okay. Whew. Polychrome Jasper, also known as Desert Jasper. We're going to see a lot of this. I've got several more pounds sitting in rough. Now this is a perfect contender for the flat lap. Just to zip that little piece right off. And I think I'm gonna set that aside. Look at that, isn't that cool? Almost looks like a flower. Wow, that's nifty. These are feeling really good. I don't think it's going to have to spend a second week. Wow. Yeah, these are looking super good. I'm going really fast, but they just feel lovely. Just lovely smooth. Like the blue in that. This is a skinny one. This is that rainbow one we've been watching. It's really super awesome. Really thin. Really awesome. If this doesn't break, I'm going to love this piece. This one's got some green. I like the shape of this big honker that remained throughout all of it. That is so cool. Kind of looks like the ocean, sandy beach, cliffs. I love how this stuff just kind of tells a story. Fantastic. Got some nice big pieces in here. I don't think any of this Polychrome needs another week. I think it's all ready. Or Desert Jasper, it's also called. It's got that one little funny looking divot, but it's fine. Gives it character. I'm going to put this one in that repair barrel also, but I think this is going to need a Dremel tool to take that out. Actually, it's big enough. It's not really collecting grit. It's big enough that I could just let it go, but I can't take a flat lap to that, or I'll lose like all this, and you see we don't want to do that. So maybe a Dremel, and I can just kind of follow this natural curve. Or I can just let it go, because it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Boy, we are really moving right along with this today. No chips in the barrel, which is fantastic. Ceramic media all looks good. It's not chipped either. Yellow Jasper. Isn't it lovely? I like this one because it's got a little bit of other stuff going on in there. Look how smooth it is. This is dry. This is not wet. And spending 1 week in 500, you can see how it's getting a tiny bit of a shine. So next week, after it's been a week in 1000, it's going to start looking really good, and then be ready for our polish. Wow. This is super cool. I like the patterns. Again, I like the patterns in all rocks. This one's nifty. I do, however, not like this corner. I think that's a contender for the flat lap experiments. Oh, that still has slurry on it. Okay. Wow, these are really neat. Not having to pull anything out so far. It's a really full barrel too. Don't like that one. See, I spoke too soon. Wow, look at these tiny little... I think what I'm going to do with these, stick them in the Zen garden. We've got so many really nice larger pieces. I'd like to take these little babies and put them in the Zen garden. It's really growing, that little project. Look at that. Holy cow. Definitely ready to move forward. this one. It's really dark. Alright, I think it's fair to say that the rest of this yellow Jasper is ready to move forward. So we'll throw it in the barrel, put it in for wash. Okay, all but one piece. So what was the deal with this one piece? Right there, that one little pit. I think we'll just repair that. Oops. Okay. And we're back with our zebra Jasper, which is also known as chocolate or brown Jasper. And personally, I think zebra Jasper should be black, not brown, but that's just an opinion. Very, very smooth. These are really pretty. There's some pink in this one. Oh, that was a little piece of slurry. There's some different designs in here. You know, like this. Almost looks like a different kind of Jasper. Yeah, I think, what did we call this? Leopard skin? Did a little research and found that. There's so many different varieties in here. Because this has got almost that purple mauve kind of browny purple. I like that little shape. It just retained, it did not break off. Gosh, look at all that's going on in that one. So it's got some yellow. Yeah. I mean, this almost looks like shell. Can I get a good look at that? It's really super cool. Very interesting. All of this is ready to move forward. Wow, this 1 week really made a big, huge difference in a lot of the stone. Our Kambaba Jasper. This is part of a batch that we ran back in the summer that had to be held back because it needed more work. And now it's catching up. Well, I mean, the other's finished, but this is now in 500 for a week. And it's just amazing. Let's see if we can fix the lighting here. Well, it really didn't do anything. It's a nice big piece, too. Yeah, that I'm not happy with. It's not ready to move forward. Kambaba Jasper, also called Crocodile Jasper. With all these being a MOHS Hardness 7, you can run them all together. Makes for pretty barrels as you're tumbling along. You know, every week when you clean them, get to see such a wide variety. Oh my gosh, look at that. Really cool. Yeah, these are ready to go forward too. Wow, that entire barrel is ready to move forward. It'll go through some wash cycles and then be moved to 1000 grit, and we'll see it all next week. And we've got one piece we're gonna send back. Not happy about all of this in here. It's just rough feeling, and I just don't think it's going to polish. It's kind of, you know, like in a divot. I think we might take a Dremel and try and clean that out a little bit, and then we can put it back in a 500 for a little smooth. I don't know. Yeah, it's going to need some Dremel work. Okay. That's it for the Kambaba Jasper for this week and all the other mixed ones. We will be back with our barrels that are in coarse grit, 6090 silicone carbide. All right, we'll be right back. And we're back with our Smokey Quartz, which is in our 6090 grit for 3 weeks now. It did spend 2 weeks in 4670, so we've lost a lot of mass on the quartz, but it seems to be stabilized now. We definitely need a lot more work on this 6090. So like all this rough here. Wonder if that would benefit from a... Let's do an experiment, and let's use the flat lap to slice this off, or grind it flat, and then we'll put it back in the 6090. We'll just get rid of some of these really bad spots and see how quickly it does tend to move things forward. So we'll just line up what needs to be lapped, and we will see if it just needs more 6090 on its own. Now I did go through the ceramic media, and it has no, as I say that I find a piece. I thought I found all the chipping. Let's just do one more quick look. Yep, that's it. Okay, we found some chips here. Got some chips, and I'm going to take a better... Found some chips, and then we're going to continue to look at this. This is just needing more and more work. Okay, so the chips go over there. That could use a flat lap. We got a whole variety of colors with this Smokey Quartz, from nearly, I don't want to say clear, but from a really light gray to really super dark, almost opaque. So it was a good round of, a good mix of color in this Smokey Quartz. Oh, look at that, we got a little piece of rainbow. Do you see that? How cool. I always feel lucky when we find these little rainbows in the quartz. And it kind of almost looks like a little robot. That looks like a robot inside there. There's his little head. Whoops, there's his little head, little arms. Center of the body is a rainbow, his legs. We have a trapped robot in our quartz, people. That's really cool. How nifty. So cool. Okay. There's a lot to go through here. This is in our 6-pound barrel. And there's a lot to go through. I sincerely doubt anything in this barrel is going to be ready to move forward to medium, but we will be able to pull out what needs to go to the flat lap and then come back and then rejoin into the 60-90. Oh, look at that. This, I think, is, if you can see the way that that shines, and this is dry and it looks like it's wet, that's where chipping came out of. I think this great big piece, this honk right here, is going to come out too, so we're going to take our chisel to that and get rid of it. And then it can join our chip. The part we take off will join our chip bag. You know, gosh, that's ready to go to 120. Look at that. Did have one ready. There's a lot going on with this barrel. We're going to have stuff for 120, stuff for the flat lap, stuff for the chisel, stuff that's just ready to go back in 60-90. Woo, we got a whole lot to go here. I'm going to go through and do this off camera because our videos have gotten ridiculously long. And I know it's kind of frustrating because the rock tumblers out there, this is the part they need to see, how to do the separation. Wow, that's nifty. That's a 120. You know, how you know, what, a lot of it's subjective though. It's like, what is your level of perfection that you think a stone can move on to the next stage? Like, there's no way I would move this on to a 120 because of this pit here. This little valley. I want this line removed, that fracture mark. So now I have to figure out what tool do I need to make that happen. Like, do I chisel and break the piece in half? It's pretty small and I don't really want to do that. Do I use a Dremel and just kind of smooth it out? I don't know. I definitely don't want to use a flat lap because that will just devour the stone down to nothing. So, you know, that's a decision I have to make on which method to make these better. Wow. Decision stones. A lot of this quartz is going to be issues. That can go to 120. Wow, a lot more of this can go to 120 than I thought. Pretty pleased about that. It's mostly these clearer pieces. It still needs 120, or still needs 60-90. The more familiar you get with what your grits do, the easier it is to make decisions on what needs to happen. I think that can go one more week. And 60-90. Because if it needs more shaping and more sharp edges need to come off, 60-90 is going to do it. If it's like pretty much smooth and just needs some fine tuning, then the 120-220 works. I think so much of this is going to stay in 60-90. Okay, I'm going to continue to do this barrel off camera to make the video shorter, and we'll be back with our next and our last barrel of the 60-90, which is our blue lace agate. Alright, be back shortly. And we're back with our blue lace agate, which has spent how many weeks? 3 weeks in 60-90 grit. And yeah, still needs more work, which is fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our flat lap and we're going to get rid of this base layer here, this host rock, and retain as much of the mass as we can, because the sides are pretty smooth. We're looking pretty good. You know, we're going to want to keep this as large as possible. So I think flat lapping that little roughness there will preserve as much mass as we can while we're tumbling. So we're going to set all these aside. So I'm pretty sure all of them are going to get a little tiny dose of flat lap. And then it's going to go back into 60-90 to smooth all that roughness out from the cutting. All this is going to come off and go away. This is all really rough. That's pitted and rough. We're going to get rid of all that. Like this little quartz heap, it's going to come right off. So that's pitted pretty deeply. And we don't want to keep grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding the entire stone in the tumbler and lose all this beautiful stone just to get that, because we're losing it everywhere, not just on that one spot. So all of these, I think, are going to get a little tiny touch of the flat lap. See that? And then we're going to throw it back in 60-90 to smooth out this flat lap edges. Ooh. Yeah, see? That's got to go. Yeah. That is what we're going to do for this entire barrel, which is running in our 6-pound. And, yeah. I mean, even this little piece, I want to get rid of that. Yeah. So, interesting, while these big, heavy, I mean, they're big honker stones, they're heavy, and they have, I mean, this is really pretty still. But just look at the patterns. This lace agate is just, I mean, blue like this is just amazing. Yep, each piece is going to need a little tiny touch. Yeah, with the flat lap. So, looking at the ceramic media, we've got a lot of issues here. Issues like this, where it's just being mauled to death. And all this breakage is going to cause surface damage to the stone. So I'm going to go through all this media and I'm going to get rid of all these broken pieces. And I'm going to keep these lovely rounded ones. Just get rid of all this. And keep these pieces going with, you know, the best quality controls that we can as we go along. And I'm really excited to see how this flat lap works. I have high hopes for it. I think it's really going to do, I can't imagine it not doing what I want it to do. to achieve the results that I want. It seems pretty straightforward. And we're going to find out. So that's going to be in a separate video. And trying to keep these short. So all of our blue lace is going to hit the flat lap. Yeah. Shouldn't take too long, in theory. Yeah. Okay. We're going to go through all the ceramic media. We're going to do that off camera and save you that boring step. And we will be back with our Labradorite, which is in dry polish. And that, again, was our repair that we had done it all the way through to a wet polish, and it came out really crazed, and it just didn't look good. So we're trying to see if we can save it. And we'll check that out shortly. All right, we'll be right back. All right, we're back with our Labradorite dry polish. Let's dig out a piece, see how we're doing. Oh, that's a tiny piece. Let's try. I mean, it is dry, but let's remove some of that polish residue. Oop, there we are. That is a really cool polish. I think we have success. It's a really good polish. Whew. Of course, it needs to be washed. Get all this dryness off, all the residue. Isn't it pretty? Oops, sorry about that. Can't have a video without flipping the camera. Okay. Wow. This has really got a nice shine. This dry corncob polish. It's been in here for 8 days. Oh, just really nice. Now, we did an experiment. It's been in there 2 weeks, actually. This was after 1 week. This was after 2 weeks. This was after 1 week, and this was after 2 weeks. Are we seeing a whole big difference? I don't know. I think the 1 week would have been enough. I think they're about the same level. Okay. So much for our control. We now know 1 week is enough for dry corncob polish. Okay, excellent. We are going to dig the rest of these out. Put them in another barrel for a little burnish. Wow. Really pretty. It's Labradorite. Let's see if we can. I'm looking for a really big piece. I don't think we have a really big piece. Here we go. It's got a nice shine. Feels really nice. Till we get to that, that's damage. That is damage that happened in the dry polish. Phooey. Alright, let's just set these aside. So we want to make sure, see how much damage has happened. See if we can shake one to the surface. Yep. Well, it looks like a lot of the damage was repaired. And we've got a nice shine. And then a couple other pieces acquired new damage. Yeah, the jury's out. Jury's out on this Labradorite batch. I'm going to have to clean them and do a good inspection. And let's see where we're at. I'm not seeing a whole lot of labradorescence. I think we lost a lot of it because we had so much repair. I think we just hit the in-between layers. I do believe the corn cob is the way to go for these softer stones. I don't want to use this as my absolute sample. But all that horrible crazing is gone because we had taken it back to try and repair it. And I am happy with this polish level. Alright, we're going to get the rest of these out of the barrel, give them a good wash cycle, burnish cycle I mean, and then we can get some photographs of it, and then we're going to call this batch finished. We've got a lot of barrels opening up this week, and we're going to be starting new projects. I'm very excited. All right, we'll be back with what we decide to start new. All right, hang on. And we're back with our polished stones. So here we have our Labradorite, all polished and looking lovely, and it's all dry, so you see this is all great shine. Here we have our golden and our blue tiger's eye that is completed, and it has marvelous shine. We're very, very pleased. We'll get single shots of these stones soon. Just lovely. Our peach Aventurine, I could not be happier. The polish on these are outstanding. We've got a lovely variation of color. We've got some really just amazing patterns. Let's see if I can get a close-up. Alright, that's too much. So, for January 1st, we had 3 barrels come out of polish, and they're all just amazing. Very, very, very pleased with these. I hope everybody had a happy new year. I hope everybody's staying safe and COVID-free. And we'll be back tomorrow with our new barrels. We have a lot of barrels that opened up this week, so we're going to see what we can start. Fantastic. Alrighty. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next time. Okay, we're going to start our purple Aventurine. This is wet, obviously, but it's amazing. Look at that purple. I think I'm kind of, because the Aventurine turned out so nice, I think we're going to do some more. So I'm going to run this purple, and then I think I'm going to run a blue as well. So I will be right back with our next barrel that we're starting this week. Our next barrel is going to be Aragonite. It's this lovely brown banded kind. And we do have a bunch of other colors, but this one kind of caught my eye. So we're going to start this one. It's a MOHS hardness 3 to 3.5. So we'll be dry polishing this at the end. So this is the next one we're going to do. It's pretty cool. Aragonite. Okay. And we'll be back with the next barrel. Moonstone. We have tan and orange moonstone. This is what's going in the barrel. I can't wait to see these. So these barrels that we're starting this week are all going into 60-90, and these are all pretty small. These are not large pieces. No. So they're going in 60-90 grit with some baking soda for the first week, and then we're putting no ceramic media for the first week, and we'll add the ceramic media next week. This week we want the most shaping to happen that we can. So putting the ceramic media in there inhibits that to a certain extent. Okay, we have one more barrel. Be right back. Blue Aventurine. It looks a lot like sodalite to me. I actually have a piece of finished sodalite over here. Well, one I'm working on. Here's sodalite. The real deal sodalite. And here's what they're saying is Blue Aventurine. I don't know. It looks pretty darn close to me. We'll see. But the vendor swears it's Blue Aventurine. Okay, that's going to be our next barrel. I think that's going to do us for this week. Looking forward to next week. Be good. Be safe.